from diving with AOS. I'm going to show you some more of my bottles today, but I decided to take you out to a nice historic location. Come and check this out. So the country's still in the COVID-19 crisis. I ventured out behind my place. I don't live far from here. To this old mining town close by that was operating probably close to 100 years ago. There's nothing left here but these two buildings, so we'll go and check this out. So what's left is of the mining town down this way is this explosive shed and detonator shed. This one's dated 1922, slightly smaller than the explosive shed. There's a lot of reinforcement going around the outside of it, but I do like the explosive shed because it has some nice ferny features going on about it. Look at that, that's pretty cool. Let's have a look inside. Oh yeah, no shelving, I don't know, must have stacked it. Oh yeah, there's some timber left there from with the shelves, dynamite boxes stacked up against the wall. And this one over here, the detonator one, like I said, reinforced a little bit more. Vent holes. The inside of that one, it looks like the renders falling down from up the top. So what a good spot to show you a few of my bottles. I picked out 6 of my ginger beers. The first one I've got is a YY ginger beer from Newcastle. YY Rated Waters Company Limited, Newcastle ginger beer. Two-tone, crown seal champagne style. Dirty big rust stain up the back. Y stamped in here for some reason. The potter's mark with the fellow who made it down here. I found this in a pile of dirt on the side of the road. I thought it was an all-white stout bottle because it was in like that when I found it. I was pretty stoked when it came out with the stamp on it. It goes to show that you should always check out piles of dirt on the side of the road. Mullins & Co. from Newcastle, brewed ginger beer. All tan champagne style, crown seal. Has a bit of a kiln kiss on the back here for where it's touched up against another bottle or something else in the kiln. Potter's mark down here. This one was found on a dive in Swansea Channel. All tan, that is beautiful. Now this AF Moore Newcastle with the rampant line trademark. Took me quite a little while to find. They're supposed to be relatively common. Pretty desirable. It's a beautiful crisp stamp on it. I found it out the front of the Toronto Yacht Club while I was cleaning a boat. It's sitting down on the bottom of the lake with just the bare corner sticking out. So I was pretty happy to get hold of that one. That's gorgeous. My J. Ellis ginger beer from Western. Might look a bit rough. Missing a bit of glaze up the top here from where the crown cap was taken off it. But the story behind this one is my son found it. Took him out on a digging expedition and he jumped out of the car to put the first shovel into the ground to pop over the first turf of dirt, and then sings out, "Our ginger beer is supposed to be brown and white." And when I answered him yes, he goes, "Well, I reckon I've got one." So I let him dig, and this is what he came back with. That was a pretty decent find. It's got the potter's mark down here, but has a little rust stain around it, but it all adds character. There's another kiln kiss sitting there from where it's let up and get another bottle. This one lightened my day up. Old George Bell from Wyong, beautiful Bell trademark. This bottle is a property of G. Bell, Wyong, potter stamp. Fortunately a bit of a hairline crack there, but that means nothing to me. So I was standing at a construction site peering through the fence watching an excavator driver doing his thing, waiting for him to come out so we can have a break. So I started talking to him. It's pretty late in the afternoon. He told me he was about to knock off, and I asked him if I could go in for a quick dig on the site. "No problem, Paulie," he said. "Help yourself, clean up after yourself." I found 3 of these under a footpath. That was a good find. So on a dive in Newcastle Harbour, the water was pretty murky, the visibility was pretty limited, and I've come down this rock wall to spy this odd shaped ginger beer, which appeared to be Pommy UK version. Just the shape of it threw me out. But as I got back to the surface and wiped the barnacles from it and found the A.G. Saunders Musselbrook with the dog trademark, you could imagine I was quite ecstatic. It's got a pinnacle potter's mark at the side there. And one of the most unusual features about this ginger beer is, apart from the ink smudge up the top there, it's one of the only internal thread Saunders ginger beers around. Now, I found the top many years ago at an old tip in Musselbrook. It's got a bit of damage on it, so's a ginger beer, but they go perfect together. That's a cracker of a bottle, that one. Okay, so here they all are again. What a nice lineup that is. Don't go nowhere. We're going to pop over the hill and check something else out. See you shortly. Hey, it's Paulie here. Back to show you another historical spot and some more of my bottles. So here's some features of the beautiful dam. Not sure exactly how much it holds, but it's built for the mines in the local area. There's his compliance plate, Burren Jim Dam, November 1945. All the way out here. Massive big spillway. There's all the way up there. Beautiful. Now let's pop out onto the dam wall. Have a quick sticky beak. We're out about the middle of it now. Oh, there's the gates. Straight down there. Oh, that's beautiful. What a lovely time of the afternoon as well. It's a long way down on that side too. No water to break the fall. Thought I loved this house I live in. There's so much history out here in the bush. I'm going to go and get some of my stone bottles and go through them with you. So I brought along some impressed ginger beers this time. You know, the ones with a solid stamp on it. First one I'm going to show you is an E. Rowlands with his farmer and miner friend again. Now the stamp's in an unusual spot because they're usually located up the top. And these guys are usually white. This is one of those bottles when you walk into a garage sale and you see $10 on it and you go, have you got any more? What a bargain that was. What a great looking bottle. So I want to dive in the Hunter River over at Hexham. Found this guy. A G. Redmond double, possibly triple stamp if you look in there. The trademark's done twice. But let's call it a double. How early, how nice. That is beautiful. Bit of a pottery lump there. You see the fingerprints and the glaze over here. That's a good looking bottle. So as a diver we get into some pretty dark waterways where your senses seem to take over because you can't see anything, and I reached out onto the rocks one day and grabbed hold of this bottle. Felt alright, so I stuck it in my pocket, and when I got it back to the surface I was pretty amazed at not only the potter stamp but like how crude it is. The centre's offset, it's more this way, and you can see where they've all the finger lines going through it from where it's been pulled up through the potter's wheel, and just the lack of quality control. So speaking of quality control, I spied this one in my friend's shed that he found at Maitland in the waterways. It's just a T-Field Potter and Sons, Sydney. That was the pottery who made it, but it must have fallen over in the kiln because it is that bent out of shape and wonky. The top looks like it has a pouring spout as opposed to having a cork stuck in there and a piece of wire wrapped around to hold it in place. This is a really unusual bottle. Now for some early Newcastle pottery. This is Nathan Wellham Pottery Newcastle with a rounded shoulders, special paint and top. Found this one over at Stockton in the mangroves. Beautiful copper glaze on it. Now this guy operated in Derby Street in the 1870s. Put out beautiful pottery bottles, also bricks. and some chimney pipe wear and stormwater pipes. Now for the last one I'm going to show you is my convict ginger beer. I found this in Swansea Channel of all places. It's unbranded, but it's a nice grey Sydney colour, just a small rolled lip on it. It's just missing the Fowler figure 8 stamp across the top up here. Nonetheless, I found a convict. So here's the lineup of all the gorgeous bottles. Got that JEWELL Spectacular, that bent one's good. I like them all. Hard to choose, hard to pick a favourite. Beautiful. So I hope you enjoyed this historic dam. Going to get some more bottles out. We might go to a different historic place and I'll share that with you. I'll see you next time. How cool are these dynamite sheds? 1922. That's pretty cool. So I brought along some impressed ginger beers because they impressed me. That's a funny joke, isn't it? So much history sitting out here in this bush. Yes, there is.